Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Today we're going to talk about Saturday Night Live's season 44 premiere and the return of the Turner Classic Movie Cruise. Plus, drag superstar Justin Johnson, aka Alyssa Edwards, and Susan G. Komen founder Nancy Brinker joined the table. Plus, Pollyanna McIntosh from The Walking Dead is also stopping by. But first, did you see that Lindsay Lohan video where she tried to kidnap a child?
Kidnap a child.
She's trying to help.
No, it's like she's doing like she's on the ground, like she's a CNN reporter, like, guys, you won't believe this. As she's in like her black SUV, I just met this refugee family, and they're just like on the street. The Syrian refugee family starts following them, starts trying to take the child, and gets punched in the face. And then she's
So why was she trying to take the children?
Because they were a refugee family and she thought she was helping,
She thought they were child trafficking.
Yeah, she thought they were child trafficking. They also, the whole time she's using this horrible accent.
Yes.
It's really offensive accent. And after she gets smacked, completely loses the accent.
Right.
She goes from like, don't mess with Pakistan, to like, oh my God, I just got beat. And it's like, well, okay, so now we know the accent is fake.
Yeah.
Just drop it. Someone shouldn't have to beat you for you to drop your fake offensive accent.
Isn't she supposed to be busy with her beach clubs in
I was gonna
Greece?
say,
Like, what the fuck?
A couple weeks ago, she was so carefree and dancing and happy. She should just stick in her lane. I think this is going way out.
In Russia. Right? In Moscow?
I have no idea.
I think it's in Russia. I think she's
Moscow?
also colluded with the Russians. Different story. But yeah, no, she like follows them and starts trying to speak their language in this accent. And it's like, and then all of a sudden says like, something about Pakistan. She's loyal to Pakistan.
She's very much a citizen of the world at this point. Okay.
She doesn't belong to any of us.
She doesn't belong to any country or any accent. She really can just like chameleon it, you know?
Yeah, but leave the peacekeeping to the UN, Lindsay. I mean...
It was so weird. The kids were fine. They're with their mom. They're just like, why is this weird lady following us? And she's like, I won't leave you. I won't leave you.
Yeah, that's
You're like, why are you talking like that?
Yeah, that's also telling that Syrian refugees are fleeing from Lindsay Lohan as well. I mean, that is revealing.
It also sucks because if I were one of those kids, I would have at least wanted her to tag me so I could get some followers.
Yeah. Can you tag on live? I don't think you can. The real issues of America.
Anyway, well, now it's our time for our first guest. Justin Johnson, aka drag superstar Alyssa Edwards, is no stranger to the spotlight. Strutting into our lives and our hearts is the funny, sassy, and multi-layered performer on RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, our favorite drag queen is stepping out solo as the star of Dancing Queen, which premieres October 5th on Netflix and follows Johnson as he juggles dancing, family, and life. Take a look.
Mama's back. Talk about a dream come true. Talk about a dream that is truly reality. I am the Rondon Diva of the South, Alyssa Edwards. Well, my given name is Justin Dwayne Lee Johnson. Not only am I the owner, but I'd like to say I'm the artistic director of Beyond Belief Dance Company, celebrating 14 years of excellence. It can be difficult being a gay man.
Why did you tell me that my life was an abomination?
Prepare yourself. It's about to go down.
Don't cry till we get in the car.
You have no idea what I do for my daughter. Miss Thing, take a seat. No, ma'am. The power of drag is giving someone the courage. The wig is the cape to a superhero.
Did somebody call for a professional?
Ow! Each and every one of these kids were born into a royal family. I hope to help them in finding their own crown, because mine's staying on my head. Did I just hear my name come out your mouth?
Everyone, please give a warm Bill Bunch welcome to Justin Johnson, aka Alyssa Edwards.
Hello, hello, hello.
Justin, thank you so much for being here. We're big fans. This show follows, you run this dance company called the Beyond Belief Dance Company in Texas.
Yes.
Can you tell us how this show came to be?
Well, if you would have asked me like 10 years ago, did I think that this would be my life? I would say absolutely not. Going on Drag Race was something that was kind of like, hey, this could be a good idea for you, almost like a dare. I was like, okay, I'll send in a tape. So I made a little audition tape, and I gotta tell you what I said in my opening statement, because me and Rue just talked about this. I was like, Rue, if you can find another cross-dresser in the United States of America that can slay me, I'll give you $100,000. Okay. And I didn't do any of the criteria to get on the show. And the next thing you know, I got on the series. And from that, World of Wonder was more intrigued about my dance school. And I was like, okay, you guys can come and film, but you gotta stay in the corner. You gotta stay far out of my way, because I get sometimes too excited and I don't wanna be distracted. Long story short, this sizzle reel came out, and it started getting pushed, and people started calling and inquiring, but I was adamant that I didn't want to kind of be like a situation that was too reality TV produced. And Netflix was like, what about a docu-style?
Right.
And I was like, I'm sold, I'm all for it. I can authentically be myself. Unapologetically, I am every day. And I look at this trailer and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a hallmark of my life. Yeah. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, you're not exploiting anyone. It's really about you, how you are helping these kids and teaching them and making them into performers.
Oh, absolutely. See, the thing is, I've had the studio now for 15 years. These children are all very hopeful to one day work in the professional industry and arena. And I'm a very tough love coach. And I want to share the gift. I think it's a gift of being a teacher with these kids and my experiences. So I don't think that this is definitely going to be any of that, And we have those shows. Right. So there's a place for that. Yeah. I wanted something that was artistic, something dance really. It really changed my life, because I was if you can believe this, sitting up here and all this today, I was a very introverted little gay boy in Mesquite, Texas. And this was before the Google search engine and all that. I just told y'all my age. I'm not old, I'm established. And I remember going to my first dance class where I didn't have to speak. I spoke through the art of movement, through all of the emotions I was feeling on the inside, I was able to convey through steps, and these the greatest stories told to me are through the art of dance and movement. And I wanted to give that to my students.
So what are some of the classes that the kids take, and was it hard to get the parents on board, or was everybody really in for this?
I think, well, they're studying, A lot of my high schoolers go to Booker T. Washington High School for the Visual and Performing Arts. And, so they're not only studying at the studio, but they're also at school. But contemporary, ballet, jazz, hip hop, we're doing master classes and workshops and teachers all the time in and out. So they're there at the studio at least 4 days a week. Getting the parents to understand what this is about, I think all of them were like, we're not gonna do no pyramids, and what is this gonna be, Justin? Like, and I'm like, here's the thing, I am gonna allow this camera crew to sit in the corner and just to follow the journey. Right. What really goes on here at Beyond Belief. And we're a very competitive company, and everything in Texas is bigger. The personalities, the hair, the dance moms, and then there's me in the middle of it all. So I feel like the greatest showman, but I think that they were all very pretty chill with it. Good. I think everybody's nervous now to see it, because they're like, what am I gonna look like? Because it's gonna show the good, the bad, the right, the wrong, the indifferent. But above all, this is a triumphant story. And I found my purpose early on, and I started sharing that, and I'm looking at that, and I'm seeing it right now again. There's so much passion, and above all, heart. And that's what this series is gonna be.
So how important is it to you to have your dance company in Texas? Because now you have a huge platform. You can literally do this anywhere around the world if you wanted to, but it seems like Texas is where you're from, and I think representation there is very important. So could you speak to that?
I mean, absolutely, because, see, like I said earlier, the thing is,
being one of 7, and not a lot of opportunity for my family to travel me to a high-volume competitive dance school, I made a promise to myself, you stay here in Mesquite, because there's another little Justin that might not have the opportunity. And we're a little edgy from Mesquite. I mean, can you imagine me rolling up in all this? And I didn't want to change who I was. I made the people change and understand, and now they all appreciate and celebrate. So that's the beauty of it all.
Yeah, I really respect you so much for doing that, because a lot of people, they make it and they just like leave.
Yeah.
And they forget about others, and I just really love that.
Well, I think I'm a hometown guy, and I'm a proud Texan, and Texas has really embraced me. You know, there was a period in my life where I was confused. I didn't know where I was going, what was what, up or down, left or right or left. And I think the people there, they really built me up. And that's my family. So I mean, I enjoy traveling. This was asked to me yesterday. DragCon was a huge event. And someone said, do you love it here in New York City? And I said, they're like, with the people here, they love you. You should come more often. You should live here. You know, you could do something here. And I'm like, oh, I love coming to the city for 2 days, 3 days. This is overwhelming. You know, I can leave my house at 10 p.m. and go to Brahms ice cream that's 10 miles away and be back at my house in 10 minutes, literally. So this is a lot. This is a lot to take in. But I will tell you, every time I leave here, I leave inspired. You know, it's in the air, in the energy, and people are on the hustle, and they're on the go, they're making dreams come true, and I love all that.
And you need to take that back to your students.
Absolutely, you know, but that's why I got my red shoes on today, because there's no place like home. There's no place. And, you know, after traveling all around the world, and I come home from tour, I roll up, I pass the Mesquite Rodeo, and I'm like, this is home. This is home. I just purchased a house. You'll see all this on the series, and you know, it's a cute little gated community. And on Sundays, I come rolling in. I got my windows down. All my neighbors around us very family oriented. They're all waving. They're like, "That's Justin the drag." and you know, I'm waving to everybody.
Like,
so I'm very happy. Very happy.
That's awesome.
I love that. I love that you're changing, you're evolving with your home and you're making it a better place. Justin, thank you so much for being here. This was an absolute pleasure, really.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to catch Dancing Queen on Netflix October 5th. You will not want to miss it. I will be tuning in. Justin, thank you so much.
Again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Saturday Night Live kicked off their new season this weekend with host Adam Driver and musical guest Kanye West. Politics remained a sharp focus for the first episode, which featured a cold open tackling the Ford Kavanaugh hearing with actor Matt Damon as Supreme Court nominee Boof Kavanaugh. Off camera, Kanye West made an impromptu speech defending Donald Trump while wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Actor Chris Rock was in the audience and took to Instagram to capture the moment. Let's take a look.
And so many times I talk to like a white person about this and they say, how could you like Trump? He's racist. Well, if I was concerned about racism, I would have moved out of America a long time ago. We don't just make out a silver. And that is bothers me. And when I said I'm running 2020, all my smart friends. Now you got a situation where we need to have a dialogue and not a diatribe. Because if you want something to change, it's not going to...
Wow, Kanye.
Well, let's start with...
What we liked about SNL.
Yeah, let's start.
The cold open I thought was really funny, and I think Matt Damon did a really funny job.
The cold open was so long.
It was like 12 minutes long.
Yeah, that's too long. That's not a cold open.
Yeah, it's more like just an opening sketch. But I get why they kind of had to tackle the hearing, and I'm glad they did not do the Ford part of it. I don't think that part should ever be copied or parodied in any sort of way. And so just to do the Matt Damon I got calling him Booth Kavanaugh now because that joke. But I think it was funny. Like him as this frat bro-y guy. Like he was just
well, he was like, I'm coming in at 11. I'm gonna take it up to 15. Yeah. He's like I always say, the keg is half full, or like all these kind of like funny
his
bro-y
friend's
jokes.
PJ.
It's super funny. I'm just always surprised that, like, especially at the start of a new season, SNL opens up and the focus point is someone who's not in the cast.
Totally.
Right.
It's just like every year, it's like, okay, we'll bring in all these talented people who are not on the show.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't really. I've never thought about that.
No,
yeah,
like,
I've never thought about it like that.
Matt Damon is the focal point of the opening of season 44. How about some great people that are on the show?
That's true.
Very fair. And Rachel Dratch played Senator Amy Klobuchar.
And that I have a different feeling though with like an SNL alum making an appearance, but it's always confusing when it's just like, okay, well we're gonna have these awesome actors come and just steal the show.
Yeah. Or Pete Davidson, who was in every sketch.
Oh my God, it was like the Pete and Ariana show.
Right.
It was all about their engagement.
I wish Ariana had stayed the guest. I think it would have been so much.
And I didn't know that until you actually told me this morning that Ariana Grande was supposed to be the musical guest.
That's what Lord Michael said, and then they asked Kanye. Yeah, honestly, I thought the part which is Pete's main shtick on that show is his weekend update when he comes as himself. I actually didn't totally mind that part. I thought he actually made me laugh. I didn't love his whole like the death threats, me, Malcolm X, MLK. Like there's a lot of people get death threats besides those three people. But I thought I like his self-deprecating humor. I think it is actually pretty funny when he makes fun of himself, and I kind of got his point of view, like how lucky he is to be with Ariana. I enjoyed that.
I hate that. I don't buy how self-deprecating he is. Like I think he has a lot. I don't believe him.
Very fair.
Am I the only one? Like, I just think it's so annoying. Like, we get it. You're lucky you're dating Ariana.
Yeah, I don't really get his brand of humor, to be honest. So I'm with you. It's just sort of, he's an interesting castmate, but they seem to be taking advantage of his presence this season, so good for you, SNL.
Well, you know we forgot to mention before, but no, Kate McKinnon as Lindsay Graham.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
really funny.
Oh my God.
I do like when they make her just play everyone, and she's just like, I'm gonna swing my arm apart.
And they had the double chin.
The double chin. So, I thought that was really funny and got at the whole making fun of Lindsey Graham's theatrics in the Senate.
Yeah. I mean, I loved that too. That was like so memorable, but like also like I don't mean to like I love SNL too. Like I'm critical of it because I love it, but it's just like Kate McKinnon also, she's amazing, but needing her to play everyone doesn't like speak so well.
But that's the ongoing. That's the ongoing.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But that's kind of an ongoing joke now. I agree with that mostly. I don't totally get the when she plays Robert Mueller. Like I didn't get when she did that.
Yeah.
But I actually Lindsey Graham, because he is so theatrical and being this like
it was very good.
And it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
And also I love when she does Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I thought that was
oh
funny
my
as
God,
well.
that's so good.
Burn. That was really good. And like I love when her Ruth Bader Ginsburg's calendar just says "Don't die" on it.
Yeah.
That was a great joke.
Please don't.
Oh no,
Please
Ruth.
Don't.
Okay, Kanye's music.
Now we can talk about Kanye.
He's apparently sponsored by Perrier or Fiji.
No brand on that.
Can he just go away? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to even spend any time talking about him because what he does is so disrespectful so consistently that I feel like we keep feeding this monster and he's never going to go away.
It
he's
sounds
an
just like
actual
our
monster.
president.
Yeah.
We just give negative attention.
Yeah.
And he says, well, it's very ignorant. I mean, his tweet saying the whole, why he's wearing his MAGA hat, this is made in America. MAGA hat was made in China. In China. Everything's made in China that Trump does. His ties, his hats. So it's the only thing I don't get, like.
You say China weird.
China. I say the way he does it, China.
China.
It's the make-believe Trump image that he painted out and basically lied to the American people and convinced enough of them to vote for him. And it's like that, perpetuating that lie when you're ignoring that there's still thousands of children separated from their families at the border.
Yeah.
When Puerto Rico is still just gone full power now. And it's and the tax cut, all this stuff, and Brett Kavanaugh, you're ignoring everything just because the whole make-believe Kanye West thing about America is. Yeah.
It's hilarious that this is the same person who was like, Bush doesn't care about black people. Because you know who doesn't care about black people or anyone in America right now? Is Kanye. Yeah. He doesn't care about any of us. No. He cares about himself. It's so sad, but I'm over it. And I agree, I don't want to give him any more time. Honestly, like all these games, him telling, oh, I redesigned the hat, I put good energy into it. Context matters, you idiot. Yeah. I get that the slogan, Make America Great Again, sounds good, but what it actually stands for is fucking disgusting. Yeah. And if you want to play with that, like, you know what? I will stop drinking water altogether if you're gonna be dressed up as a water bottle. I'm so done with him.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm so done with Kanye too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say that SNL did their solid where people say that they're super left-leaning and they're always making fun of the Republicans, where they gave a Republican a lot of airtime this weekend too, so they balanced it out for them.
You know what I noticed that has nothing to do with this is that when they were introing the players on SNL, they changed the typeface.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole new images.
Season.
Yeah,
Don't they change it for every season?
I remember
Or like every couple of seasons.
seeing it as distinctly different.
Yeah, no, this is way different. And I'm also excited because like Seth Meyers is hosting soon. I really love Seth Meyers. Awkwafina. So they have really cool people coming on.
Yeah.
And
Seth Meyers, we know, is going to pull a Kanye and just wear his MAGA
of course,
hat.
yeah, of course. No, I think Seth is so great.
I can't wait to see him back on Weekend at the
I think, and it's his first time hosting the show since he's left. So I love when alums like that come back, and he's awesome, an idol of mine, and so it's gonna be really cool watching him.
Yeah, for sure.
Excited.
And now it is time for one of our special guests. Nancy Brinker is the founder of the Susan G. Komen organization, which aims to end breast cancer by funding groundbreaking research and community advocacy programs. Here to educate us about Breast Cancer Awareness Month is global cancer advocate and consultant Nancy Brinker.
How are you all doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
It's so nice to be here. I love the build on. I think the environment's fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fun place to work.
Well, October 1st today, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Can you share with us and our viewers the importance of breast cancer screenings?
Well, breast cancer is one of the leading killers of women, sadly, and men get it too. About 200,000 people a year diagnosed with it. The reason I know all this is that I lost my only sister, Susan, to breast cancer, and when she was 36 in 1980. And she was diagnosed in 1978, and it was such a difficult, terrible journey that towards the end, and we were only two girls in our family, two sisters, she looked at me and took my hand, and 3 weeks before she died, and asked me if I would cure the disease, if I would do all I could to cure the disease. And in those days, you couldn't use the word breast out loud in radio, TV, film, or newsprint. That was the only media we had. You know, imagine we didn't have cell phones. I know you can't imagine a time like that. We didn't have computers. We didn't have fax machines. We really had nothing except the telephone and a lot of passion. And so I was living in Texas at the time in my first job. She was living in Peoria, Illinois, which was our hometown. So I realized all the way through her journey, because I was with her all the time when she was being treated. I'd run back and forth. Eventually, we got her into a place called MD Anderson, who maybe some of you have heard of, in Houston. Very few breast cancer doctors in the U.S. at the time. And it was a terrible, terrible, sad journey. She was the most upbeat, beautiful, lovely. She was my older sister, and full of love, full of joy, full of everything. And she looked at when she asked me to do this. I promised her I'd do it. So, you know, I thought I was smart. I thought I was so smart. We'd put a man on the moon, and I said, we have all this money, and most of you weren't around then, of course. We had the war on cancer declared by Richard Nixon. And in a great bipartisan moment in this country, and everybody threw in a lot of money. But that was great. I figured, well, we have a lot of money, we have a lot of will. Probably I can get this done in about 5 years. By the second day, I recognized how really not smart I was, and that it was going to take probably a lifetime to get done what was wrong. And everything that happened as we went through her journey was not good. All the way from, she had one of the first breast screenings they used to do, and they were just, I don't know how anyone would call it a screening. You couldn't see anything. Right. It was ridiculous. Contrasted to today, where we have 3D mammography, and remember that if you have a loved one that's going for a mammogram, it needs to be a 3D, tomosynthesis. 2D is the older version, not nearly as definitive, but anyway, everything from screening to the pathway that she had to take for her care, and also the disparities that we would observe every day. People treated so unequally or not at all because of where they lived or who they were or what money they didn't have or access they didn't have. And it was really then that I committed, and I realized that was going to define the rest of my life. So that's what happened. That was 40 years ago.
You mentioned the screening. you know, a lot of people in our audience are in their 20s.
Right.
They may not think that they need to be screened. So what are the rules as far as early detection and screening for people in their 20s?
Yeah, you know, if you feel something, do something. You know how they always say, if you see something, say something? Feel something, do something. Tell your healthcare provider, even a nurse, a doctor, that you have something wrong, a lump. And by the way, men can develop breast cancer too, and a lot of it happens now because we understand so much more about genetic causes of diseases and everything, and some people carry genes. Some cultures are known for carrying genes. African Americans die more from this disease because they often inherit a gene that puts them at risk for developing what we call triple negative disease, which is virulent and needs to be treated immediately. Other people have more indolent forms of the disease. It's slow growing, you know, it's estrogen positive, we know how to deal with it. And in fact, a few years after Susie died, I developed breast cancer too. And as it turned out, we both were what they call BRCA positive, which Ashkenazi Jewish women get a lot of times. So we know so much more today, but it's really important to know it.
Right, so screenings should start mammograms should start at what age?
Well, it should start, I always think, and we've always said at Susan Komen around 35. Now,
that's if you don't have a family history.
So, yeah, and if you have a family history, again, if you feel something, there's nothing wrong with asking for a screening. If you're of childbearing age, ask for it. You know, it's that way, and I also believe cervical screening is the same way. I think it's just shameful in this country that we talk about ending things like screening. Right. This year we had a big flap about cervical screening, and they were going to extend the amount of time. And you know, here you have all this HPV virus, you have things going on that young women need to know about. But the same with breast screening. Every 5 years they start this sort of looking and examination at should we be doing screenings. Actually, they're the least expensive thing we can do in our healthcare system to determine whether you have at risk, whether you are at risk, and to look and see what the internal tissue looks like inside a breast. You know, we can do amazing things when we find breast cancer early. And we have driven the cure rate, not the cure rate completely, but the survival rate up 40% since we started it. And we can do a lot better than that when we finished or began really addressing disparities the way we should in this country. And when we fully educate all of you and you know when you're at risk or how you're at risk, you'll see that it will become a disease that will be chronic and that people can live with it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That would be amazing.
Yes. Well, Nancy, thank you so much for being here. Head to www.5.komen.org to learn more about breast cancer prevention and treatment. Thank you. That was really
Thank you all for having me. Thank you.
Oh, just hang.
Attention movie fans across the globe who are ready for a vacation. We found the perfect trip for you. The Turner Classic Movie themed cruise is coming back to sea after 3 years. The cruise to Bermuda will feature movie theaters, interactive panels, and speaker series to discuss everyone's favorite classic films. Let's take a look.
The TCM Classic Cruise is casting off again with new ports and new events. It's a whole new way to experience the world of classic movies. The 2019 TCM Classic Cruise, October 22nd to the 27th. Join us aboard the Disney Magic for 5 unforgettable nights as we travel from New York to Bermuda. Along the way, enjoy your favorite movies and one-of-a-kind events with a family of film lovers just like you. Staterooms go on sale soon, so head over to tcmcruise.com now for details and the latest news.
Movies!
Who loves old movies?
Woo! But so you would go on
like 4 people are like, yeah, my grandma used to make me watch Turner.
This is a great cruise to send your grandparents on. If you want to like get them out of the house, Grandma, Grandpa, I got you a cruise. Go for it.
Do you even have to tell old people to go on cruises? I feel like that's all they do.
They just know to do it.
Yeah.
They love it.
That's like they get like their little like a 6th Sense or whatever. There's a cruise available for Turner Classic Movies.
And they're playing our movies.
Honestly, it's great. They like honestly because they just don't leave their rooms. I bet they just go on a cruise to just watch these movies all the time. Yeah.
What are what are some Turner Classic movies that come to mind?
Okay, so this is where Old Britney comes out. They are
that should be a segment.
Yeah.
Old Britney.
It is classic cinema with Hollywood greats like Cary Grant and Rock Hudson and Katharine Hepburn. these people are iconic, and I used to grow up watching these movies. And
When they were just released, though.
And A Fair to Remember, yeah, back in the 40s. And A Fair to Remember is iconic. You know, movies that we've seen today are based off of them. So there is value, right, to these old Hollywood movies. I don't know if I would go on a cruise for 3 or 4 days to watch them, but there's an audience.
They must watch them like probably during the day. Like maybe they screen them by the pool, and then they dock, and then they go out at night and come back.
Yeah, they go out at night.
I mean, or do you think they don't go out? Does the cruise dock?
No, well, they go to.
No, I think it just goes out and it never comes back. It just is where you send old people.
They said it's in Bermuda.
This is population control.
The Bermuda Triangle. This sounds like the Bermuda Triangle. You're just lost on the cruise.
Watching old classic movies or whatever.
Over and over again.
It's like an American Horror Story, how that's the only song that will play.
Exactly. It's Sunset Boulevard on just repeat or whatever. I don't really like cruises. I don't really have interest in going on cruises, so I'm not going to be, no offense, Turn, I'm not going to go on this one, but, you know.
Have you guys ever been on a cruise?
I have been on a cruise, and I like am intrigued by sort of like international oceanic law.
So you recommend
it's called maritime law.
Maritime law, and whenever I'm on a cruise, I'm always like, you know, there has to be like a brig, like a jail on board. Like, where's that? Or like, what's legal? You know, it's like up to the cruise, is it?
So or like where they have a place where they put dead bodies on cruise ships.
Wow.
Oh my God,
There's like an assigned place because people die on cruises, especially the Turner Classic Cruise. Somebody's gonna die.
Honestly,
and don't worry, there's a place for them to put.
Sorry.
Is there a place for them to put the body?
Is it a freezer?
No, it's like a little coffin.
Oh my, wait, but they have to keep it cold, right?
Oh, you know more about dead bodies than I do.
I think you have to keep dead bodies cold unless you know, pump them full of those amazing chemicals.
But then what do they do? Like, what happens if it's like does the maid check in on every, the person that checks every morning, like, oh,
No, they don't check every morning. It's the same thing if there was like a crazy guy on the crew, on the ship, you would have to be able to jail him on the ship.
Yeah.
So there's always, whatever cruise ship you get on, you know that there's a jail.
Yeah, they've planned for everything. Really?
Isn't that
incredible.
cool to think about?
Yeah, I picture you trying to think of like how to do like a mutiny, like how do I take over this ship?
Yeah, but there's like you have to look for all of those like
loopholes.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's kind of cool.
Just go read L. Ron Hubbard's book. He's really good at like skirting maritime law and doing his own thing.
Oh, you mean like Scientology?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Not to get into it, but maritime.
Oh, that's why there's
you can skirt a lot of laws out in the ocean.
And is that why? Don't they dress up as sailors?
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Oh.
We always are sort of like doing Scientology stuff.
Well, anyways, I'm excited about this. I'm also excited about our next guest. Pollyanna McIntosh is an actress best known for her role as Jadis in the hit AMC show The Walking Dead. Today, she joins us to dish on the twists, surprises, and what to expect in the 9th season of the post-apocalyptic television series. Let's take a look.
It wasn't that long ago. We were fighting just to stay alive. But it's not like that anymore. We're building, growing. We're getting back a piece of who we used to be. How things were before all this. It's all happening. We're making a new beginning.
Everyone put your hands together for Walking Dead actress Pollyanna McIntosh.
Hi.
First, we have to let people know that you came in with your cute little doggy.
I did come in with my
And
cute
he was
little
already
doggy.
running the space.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
was his name again?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh.
How could you forget that
Talk
name?
about a Turner classic right there.
Totally. He's small but mighty.
So let's talk about Walking Dead. Obviously, everybody loves this show. Coming back for a 9th season.
Yeah.
What can we expect?
We've got a very new world to discover this time.
Okay.
It's been a year and a half, so we've got this great time jump. And, you know, these are soldiers coming out of a war. These are people trying to recover and trying to build a new life. And the communities are as we've known them, but there's a little friction between the kind of organization of things at this stage, with Maggie running Hilltop and Michonne and Rick running Alexandria.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Alexandria.
What is it like to join a cast like The Walking Dead that's like so established and, you know, they've been going for 7 years and then you join?
Yeah, it's weird. You'd think it would be really...
Are they picking on you?
Not in the least, thank God. Oh, that'd be awful. You do think coming into something like this, you think, well, it's going to be, you know, like you say, the relationships are established and, you know, I'm just going to come in and do my part. But it's not like that at all. It's extraordinarily welcoming. Lots and lots of fun. Andy is the best #1 we could have you could ever hope for, and it's still fresh and exciting, and people are really pumped to be at work. So it's great.
It's still the #1 drama on TV in like the 18 to 49 demo. So
Yeah.
congrats, Brunch shows up right there.
It's all me.
It's all you. I'm assuming they said when you came on, it really grew. But when I read that your audition, your character, the gender wasn't specified.
Yeah.
So how is it that you've really actually been like developing the character from very gender is a core aspect of any character. So what's been like developing this character since season 7 now to 9?
Great question, thank you. That was one of the most exciting things for me about going in on this, was that they were thinking outside the box from day one. And, like you say, gender can define us, but in this case, she's a leader, and it doesn't matter whether she's a man or a woman. She's a leader, and who she is who she is. And so that's what was so cool about that fact, that it wasn't specified. And then I got the job, because I was like, developing her has been a collaboration, obviously, with so many people. And Scott Gimple, this is really his creation, because she wasn't in the comic books. Right. So we talk a lot, but he also holds back a lot. So I've come up with my own stuff as well. And now she's developing further with this new name. She's Anne now. She's trying to be in this community and in this group and having a new role. And it's The Walking Dead, so it's not going to be easy, Nothing's going to go as planned.
What have you learned about yourself by playing this role?
I've learned how much I like to be playing a character like her, who's very calm and very secure in her choices. And there's kind of a meditative, relaxing, you wouldn't think it on a zombie show, where walkers are coming at you all the time. But, there's a sort of meditative quality to playing Jadis, because when I'm in that role, I'm just very grounded, I'm a bit more flighty than she is.
Yeah.
In a recent interview, Norman Reedus said that season 9 is very female-driven. And with Angela Kang's new showrunner, so how else is women kind of taking over the show?
Well, I think it's quite a good start, isn't it, that we've got a female showrunner? That's fabulous. Angela was always an extremely strong writer in the group, and now she's a great showrunner. We've got 50-50 female directors, which is very new and very exciting, and it's been really cool. And also just the relationships, are balanced, and we go inside of lots of female characters' heads as much as the men. Yeah.
Do you feel like if there was a zombie takeover,
yes, now we're getting to the serious questions. Yes.
Enough of the bullshit. Do you feel that you would be able to handle yourself? Do you feel like you have life skills, having worked on? I'm curious if you truly feel like.
Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do. It's weird. I mean, it's probably total bollocks, but I do. I feel. I don't know. It's weird. When I was a kid, I was always. Driving the car with your parents and they're doing their thing, whatever. And I was always looking out the window. And if I'd see somewhere like a junkyard or a bunch of trash, or whatever, I'd think, oh, I'd make this, or a little dell or something. I'd say, oh, I'd make a home there, and I'd build that, and I'd put that there. And then I end up, running this junkyard as this character.
As a trash queen.
As a trash queen. And I think it is kind of right for me. Yeah, I think I do pretty well in the apocalypse.
That's awesome.
I like making do and mend with things. Yeah. I like, it's maybe not a good example, but if there's just a little bit of nonsense in the fridge, I can make a really good meal. And I feel like that with everything.
That's a good skill.
That is a good skill.
Yeah. I couldn't do that.
Really?
I'm hungry.
You're such a New Yorker. You just go out every night.
Time to go out.
If we don't have Seamless in the post-apocalyptic
don't know what I do.
days, it's
Screwed.
over.
Oh, I'm done.
Screwed.
I have no
You can
skills.
come and live in my little
Oh, that'd be great. I'll be your servant.
I'll
do whatever you
I'll take care of you. That's a big offer. That was quick. You would not do well in the apocalypse.
Speaking of the Trash Queen, you have your own charity kind of tied to that, right?
Yes. So it's not mine. I can't take full responsibility for the charity because it's. But thank you for asking. About it.
I checked out the site, and the clothing is for all women, and kind of take me behind the message behind that.
Cool, thank you. Joshua Nolan Foundation is run by Laura Nolan, who lost her son to suicide and decided to make a really positive charity from that experience, and finding that people didn't have counselling when they needed it. So she provides free counselling for people and puts psychotherapists together with people who need them. And I just wanted to give and to help her with it. So I designed some clothes based on Jadis, and you can get them on PollyannaMcIntosh.net. PollyannaMcIntosh.net. You can buy them. And it was really fun designing some merchandise that both honoured Jadis, but AMC can't sue me for using
Right.
her hair, 'cause it was my hair.
I would say they're like badass, but trendy.
Yeah,
Definitely
they're kind of like the
encompassing character a little
sweatshirts
bit.
and stuff like Stussy style,
Yeah.
you know, with my handwriting on it, my signature, and I put a little crown on the Jadis hair, and you know, trash queen.
Trash queen. I like you own that nickname now.
Thank
You're like,
you.
yeah, I'm the trash
Yeah.
queen. It's like Oscar the Grouch, but
Yeah, exactly.
He's an icon, so.
Well, Pollyanna, thank you.
Greetings, Yoda, Oscar the Grouch, and me.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you,
today.
thank you.
And make sure to check out the season 9 premiere of The Walking Dead when it returns to AMC this Sunday at 9/8 Central. That's all from us. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same table.